Now it's match point, facing elimination.
All right. Map is going to be Echo, and PandaBearMe at a somewhat surprising lead in the series, sitting up 1-0. Can he close this out? The longer that this series drags on, the more difficult it may become, as Gamja is not going to fall for the same tricks twice. Let's see how this game goes as we spawn up here, the top left-hand corner of the map, on top of the yellow Zerg player. He's sitting up 1-0. It is the Canadian Zerg player representing Team BrwL Esports. It is PandaBearMe.
And we have over here Red Zerg spawning on the bottom right-hand side, facing elimination from the rival StarCraft League Season 2. Can he just win one more time, just stay alive for the ace match? Playing for Team Gravity, guys, it's Gamja.
You know, we've had a... Oh, extractor trick. We've had a really long day here. Sorry, I'm going to point that out every time now, man.
It's a two-player map. We still have yet to see this on a four-player map, all right?
I know. We need to see it from Gamja. But, we've had a really long day here from the RSL, guys, and we want to thank every one of you for tuning in. We know that you guys have a lot of choices for StarCraft, and we know that for even some of you, especially you East Coasters, even if it's the weekend, it's getting pretty late, so we really appreciate you sticking around, and hope that you stick around for the rest of the series. And if you guys are enjoying the show, please do hit that follow button for the RSL. Give them some love, give them some, show them your appreciation for these amazing games, and hope to see you guys at future RSL Twitch streams.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thing about the RSL is it's NA-based. It's an NA organization that's organizing it. And a lot of these players are NA players as well, and, there's always that joke about NA kind of being the redheaded stepchild of all the different communities of StarCraft these days, and every little bit of this kind of, community interaction helps. So big props to them, Rival Gaming, that is, for putting this on, and hopefully you guys are enjoying it as well.
Indeed. Well, once you guys do hit the follow button and all that good stuff, you can check out the game and see that, hey, we got a nice and early gas geyser down for Gamja once again, and PandaBearMe holding strong to getting those delayed gas geysers and foregoing speed, not necessarily for the entire game, but for a fair amount of time, going for things like the Roach War and everything. He's done that in the past 4 ZVZs that we've seen him play, and I think there's a pretty good chance he's going to be doing it again. But I want to touch upon that. PandaBearMe has opened up the exact same way almost every single game. He's had the biggest deviation in that last game, but it was still a general idea is the same, right? There's small deviations in it, but the idea was the same. And you gotta wonder, can Gamja exploit that?
Well, he's tried. And last game, he was on the verge of finishing it up. But, he just didn't see the fallout. And that was something that he hadn't seen before, at least as far as PandaBearMe is concerned. So, really, if PandaBearMe opens up the same exact way and Gamja opens up, with the super early mutas again, I still have to say that, Gamja is in a better spot. Because you cannot just rely on that follow-up every time, because you could just lose the early game so much that you can't even make that follow-up. So I want to see what happens here for PandaBearMe if he varies it up again, because last game he was, he was kind of trending towards, let's attack earlier, even earlier. Can he make it even earlier than that?
I don't know if he's going to be varying it up that much right now, because we still, again, he's got more than enough money to go for that early Zergling speed. He's foregoing it once again. He got the earlier gas guy, or he got like a gas geyser around a fairly normalish time. He's throwing down the Roach Warren. There is the Roach Warren Evolution Chamber Lair Tech. And the Lair Tech specifically kind of implying that he wants to go for his older style, the one that he was doing in the earlier series of, hey, let's go for the plus... Oh, okay, he is probably one of the 2 people that we do not want to lag out. There are some people we can afford to have lag out. If I lag out, Droopy will carry the cast, like he's already been doing. If Droopy lags out, I will try to make up the cast. Even if our observer lags out, you know, it kind of sucks, but it's like, hey, you know, we can either resume from replay or just cast the rest of the replay. If the players lag out, that's a problem.
Yeah. Luckily, it's early game, so not too many crazy things have happened yet, and could just, you know, resume from this replay. But yeah, it looks like PandaBearMe is going to have to drop out here, so I'm sure we'll get this all sorted out very soon.
Yeah, I'm going to check if he's online on Skype. If his entire internet has died. No, he's still online. That might be... Although there's a lot of people who are just online on their phones these days, so...
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to determine a whole lot from it, but yeah, we will be able to regame. I mean, the game is far enough along that even though there hasn't been a lot of direct interactions or units dying, there's been like builds revealed and plans and that kind of stuff, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see a regame. Or not a regame, resume from replay.
Yeah, so let's see if PandaBearMe can come back alive here in StarCraft. Nope, that's it, guys. It's over.
All right, no,
it's the last game now.
Don't tell people that. Oh my god.
I'm just kidding. Don't run, guys. Don't run anywhere.
Oh, yeah. Droopy, I want to ask you, where do you think someone comes up with the name PandaBearMe? How does one develop that name?
I don't know. That's like something like I don't know. I thought I had an idea.
It's like a random word generator.
Or it's like a child's grammar, like a toddler's grammar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just even I don't even. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like how that could possibly make sense, but
have you
I don't
seen
know.
The proliferation?
I asked.
Have you seen the proliferation of bears on NA server lately? Black Bear Me, Polar Bear Me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Did I cast Black? No. I think I cast it with someone else. I think I cast it with Tempo, but oh my god. Yeah, there's a random rise in the number of bears in the people's names on the North American server. It's perplexing me.
Yeah, it's all in homage to PandaBearMe. I mean, that's what it's all about.
Clearly.
Yeah.
I believe it was BrwL Esports Black Bear Me.
Yeah.
And then
Polar Bear Me. I don't remember where he's from.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of interesting things that go on with the bear meta. Personally, I'm a big fan of pandas, so so adorable, man. Although, after this cast, I'm definitely gonna go look for that video
of them fighting.
Panda fighting. And then we're gonna have a conversation about where we grew up, man, because apparently we grew up in the same area. Didn't know this, even though we've been casting and talking for a while now. But okay.
Yeah, I knew you were in Seattle, but I just assumed that you were from there.
Yeah, so. I'm in Seattle now, but I grew up for like 20-some years in the Bay Area, man.
That's tight, man.
But you know, as we spawn back over in the game, PandaBearMe has been growing up in this area for a whole 6 minutes. And we got that lair tech coming up. We got that Roach Horn. We got the evolution chamber. And on the other side of the map, we got triple gas geysers. We got lair tech finishing up. And we got, most likely, Spire Play versus Roach Warren. +1 missile attacks coming out from PandaBearMe, though. So this is actually looking a lot like the same build from last game. But with a lair.
No, well, it's deja vu of games 1 and 3, basically, in the first series. Gamja, what's he doing? Let's see if he goes for that super early Spire again.
Did he get +1 weapons the last series? I think that was one thing he forewent. I think. Oh, he did. Okay.
He did. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see how well this works out. Gamja has had the opportunity to see at least something similar to this already. So how does he react? Does he do anything differently? He's already taking a 3rd expansion much earlier on than usual.
Yeah, we got the Spire coming on right now, and a 3rd from Gamja. He's kind of forgone that. for a couple of the games. But here, he seems to feel a little more comfortable with taking that, and is a little confident that he can hold it, especially if PandaBearMe is going to be a little later with his roaches again this time in game number 2.
Yep. Well, we got a lot of... Oh my god, that's actually a lot of Zerglings out on the map for Gamja for this stage in the game. This is like a number of Zerglings that you bake to try and get a Zergling run by or a cancel on the third. And it doesn't seem like he's going to be able to get either of those. The roach is already out. And PandaBearMe, after seeing all those Zerglings, actually, here's another use for those Zerglings. You make that many number of Zerglings, and your opponent's trying to take a third, guess what they're not going to do? Just move out safely with all of their roaches for that kind of big attack that PandaBearMe has been doing in all these previous games. He's going to do this, and there's going to be that big threat of the counterattack with the Zerglings. This is exactly what he should be afraid of.
Oh yeah, so another switch up here in the strategies, and nice
solid
transfuses on both sides. Queen's helping each other out.
Wow, even gets away with one of them, and the third is going to be totally safe. And he doesn't delay his attack. That was actually beautifully handled by PandaBearMe.
Yeah, so now it's up to these mutas here to hold off these roaches against the third. A couple lings to help out the cause as well. Let's see if there's going to be enough time here for the...
I think he right-clicks this down. I think that he gets this third expansion. He's going to lose these roaches. Don't focus down the Zerglings. Don't repeat game number 1 of the last... Oh, God, actually. Oh, no. Oh, no, Droopy.
Yeah. There was enough lings that just came in at the 11th hour there. They weren't there in the beginning, and it was looking dicey, but then they kind of came in from the behind and got what they needed to do done. But I will say this, though. That third is nice and red. It is, gushing blood everywhere. So, I mean, it could be ripe for a second attempt. But, yeah. PandaBearMe didn't quite do what he needed to there.
That's, we've seen this happen so many times where those kinds of things happen and you focus all of your efforts and you sacrifice units and units and units to try and make that happen. And when it doesn't happen, it stings, it hurts. And sometimes you think, like, if it's like a Protoss versus Terran, and the Terran gets really close to killing something off, and you're like, okay, I can always go for the drop again. In this matchup, with the way that things played out, when does PandaBearMe get to do that next attack? It's not anytime soon. He's trying to do some... He's trying, but, I mean, it's so difficult because you're up against the most mobile force that possibly exists in the entire game of StarCraft. Speed Zerglings on creep and Mutalisk. I don't know how you pull one over on a player like that.
Yeah, it's hard to do, for sure, and it doesn't help when your opponent has map control, when he's got Overlord spread. You can't do anything about it, but he can about your Overlords. And the one thing I will say, though, is that PandaBearMe took a third here, so it wasn't an all-in, and even though he doesn't have map control anymore, he does have an economy to, basically work with. The question is, can he hold against this Muta attack right now? He's got plenty of spores to make it happen, so I won't say he's out of it, but it's going to get kind of rough.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this is getting very awkward, where the Zerglings are taking out all the spores. That's actually a really, really big deal, but God, I love that. I love that drone burrow to keep them safe. That is a really, really cute and awesome way to make use of that upgrade. Kind of unique and awesome way. PandaBearMe has just been showing really, really cool, innovative play so far.
Ooh, potential fungal, not quite hitting the mark, but that was very close. And it's not Wings of Liberty. You don't get that insta-fungal anymore.
Yeah. Although, man, the infestors are coming out so much earlier for PandaBearMe in this game.
Yeah.
I really like the way that this game is shaping out, because this is something totally different. This is something totally new from the origins of what we have already seen before.
Yes. It's kind of taken the turn into a different direction, despite how similar maybe the way things started. But I think that it comes down to the fact that both players took thirds. I think that makes a huge difference here. And, nobody was too all in. Yes, Gamja has, the arguably superior tech with the mobility and the air superiority, map control and whatnot. But PandaBearMe's holding on, and he's actually ahead in supply overall.
Man, if I could create a spirit animal or spirit unit for Gamja, I can't decide whether it would be the Mutalisk or the Spine Crawler, because man, he loves his Spine Crawlers, especially when he thinks there's any sort of threat at all in the next like 25 minutes. He'll just start throwing down Spine Crawlers. It's actually quite funny to watch, but it kind of makes sense because he's going up to the Broodlords, he's starting up his Corruptors, and he's already finished up his Greater Spire. So this is going to become a very scary situation for PandaBearMe, who needs to make sure he has an overwhelming number of ground forces to power through whatever Zerglings and Broodlings that end up popping out.
Yeah, and then of course, you know, if the Fungals land where they need to, those Zerglings will just dry up so fast. It's not even a challenge.
I think an important thing, though, is with the way that Gamja is skewing his force versus what PandaBearMe has. PandaBearMe has a very roach-heavy force, and he has some Hydralisks, and he has obviously the Infestors to deal with the Mutalisks. But if the Mutalisks weirdly end up in a maxed out versus maxed out army, sacrificing themselves to just take out as many of the Hydralisks as possible, there might not be enough Hydralisks left over to kill off the Broodlords. And in that situation, as long as Gamja has enough Broodlords, he just ends up winning the engagement. The Infestors are not going to do that much versus the Broodlords, unless they get some amazing Infested Terrans out.
But look at this. PandaBearMe's pushing. Because he sees that the Muta count hasn't grown, really nothing. The army of Gamja hasn't grown at all.
Oh man, that 4th expansion getting harassed over by Gamja's 4th, and all the drones are gone over there. The Roaches are going to be able to probably take this thing out, and at the same time, as you were saying, he pushes on in, but the Mutalisk trying to deny the 4th expansion of PandaBearMe, just trying to make sure there's no follow-up attack, there's no end game. But oh my god, those Spine Crawlers.
And Infested Terrans coming in to absorb some of the tank for some of those Spine Crawlers, but man, those Spines doing so much work, and now the Broodlords are out. And PandaBearMe, he knew he had to attack. He felt like something was amiss, that Gamja was trying to prepare for some kind of tier 3 craziness, but the Broodlords have popped. They will be able to defend the natural.
Those Broodlords have to be careful. They are really vulnerable. Okay. Mutalisks and Zerglings are going to be greeting up with this army, so I guess it ends up being okay, but unburring those Infestors, getting some nice Fungals, locking down those Mutalisks, and keeping them in place with those Hydralisks. I didn't expect to see Broodlord Infestor Spine Crawlers. Even if the Infestors are on the opposite side of the Broodlords, I was not expecting to see this.
Yeah, I mean, it's and now Gamja's continuing to push forward here. No signs of backing up, because really, with Broodlords, you really can't. They're too slow. And yeah, just pushing PandaBearMe all the way back into his base, and Gamja can buy himself some breathing room. He did lose his 4th, but PandaBearMe never lost his as well. So now it's looking like tier 3 versus tier 2 here when it comes to Gamja versus PandaBearMe.
Yeah, it becomes a sort of weird situation. Oh god, with the Ultralisk coming out, that is going to be a game changer. Suddenly, I don't actually like PandaBearMe's position that much, and PandaBearMe, he might be up 1-0, but if he can't deal with these Broodlords and get out the units he needs to deal with the Ultralisks, how does he take a 4th?
Yeah, I mean, he can now. Gamja's just moving in. Lots of Infested Terrans going down.
Look at that wasted energy. No, well, he's gonna go and engage regardless. Kind of interesting decision, but I think that he can still manage to do it and be okay.
Well, look at this. A lot of Corruptors on these Broodlords. They're gonna take them out, but then these Ultras are still here. And Corruptors can't do anything about that. And now these Corruptors aren't even attacking.
Yeah, they've given up. They've given up. Okay, well, there's still a decent number, still a couple of these Infestors. There's still an opportunity for a hold, but now the Ultras are on top of the drones. Oh, that's an ugly situation. And the Ultras are still just doing so much. There's even some Queens here to transfuse them. I don't know how PandaBearMe managed to make this hold happen. If he does, he's a micro-god.
I have to say, you know, it's again just a game of slim windows, some timing windows where you can, you know, make your unit composition is still relevant. And you know, the Roach Hydras were relevant when it was just the same 10 mutas flying around and not growing in number. And PandaBearMe is like, oh crap, I got to do something now, but it just came a little bit late.
I totally agree. And we end up seeing that PandaBearMe has come up with a good solution for Gamja in the early game, but Gamja says, oh, well, that's okay, I'm just going to move on to the next stage of the game, where you are not ready for me. And these Ultras, oh my god. Droopy, I don't like to call games early, but this is going to be a very, very difficult situation to come back from. That, I'm at a loss for words right now.
What is this?
I want to note, he moved those off of creep for probably like 12 minutes, maybe 25, maybe like 40 minutes to do this. You know what? Droopy, I take back what I said. If we just see more of that, PandaBearMe's got a great shot at this.
Oh man, you thought it was You thought it was amusing when like HuShang and
PandaBearMe were dancing their units,
dancing against each other. That one took the cake. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, that's a new form of BM I've not. Oh, Droopy. What happens if all of Gamja's overlords die?
Yeah.
He's supply blocked. There's still like 7 or 8 more overlords to kill, and he's got nothing better to do with those corruptors.
Yeah, it's funny. I saw those corruptors flying around. I'm like, what are they doing? And now I realize he's looking for an overlord swarm.
More spines. Oh, these infested Terrans are actually really gonna mess with the Ultralisk AI. That's a really smart way to try and deal with that. Well, okay, those corruptors are still going around. Here's a really interesting thing, like, with all the overlords constantly getting taken out, and they're still just getting taken out,
yeah,
there's no reinforcements coming in for Gamja. If he can deal with this with his reinforcements, he's got a good shot at this.
Yeah, I mean, PandaBearMe still has like 43 workers. I mean, he's mining. That's the key thing. If he was like mined, he is mined out his main matchup. But the third, this is kind of
a rough loss. Yeah.
Yeah, the third dies, then it's kind of. I mean, that's all, folks. So.
Yeah, that actually means no mining. So it doesn't matter if his opponent is supply blocked because he's not buying time for anything to come out. GG gets called, and Gamja gonna be tying up the series 1-1.
Indeed.
I really wanted to believe in like the ultimate overlord supply block where the corruptors take out all, like, I actually mean every single overlord on the map and just camp out underneath the hatcheries and start taking them out as they pop out. That I really wanted to believe in that dream, Droopy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've seen him make that sick comeback in game 1. But game 2, just, not quite.
He tried for it. He tried for it.
Yeah.
Gamja a little bit too strong with, he said, okay, well, you proxied spore crawlers in my main base. I'm going to proxy spine crawlers in yours. And I'm not even going to build them there. I'm just going to bring them with me.
Off creep.
I want to go back in the replay and see when he started moving those spines across the map. Because there was not that much creep spread. That was a really long journey for those spines. I actually think that those spines may have been sent out with the army and just arrived so late on that we forgot there was an attack right before it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, I'll say this, though. These 2 games have been way more entertaining than the first 3 games between these guys.
Oh, these have been
I think our audience would agree. Oh,
definitely. As the mighty Kaboosh says, a literal god tasteless. No, but these games have been quite fantastic, and it is a nice turnaround on people complaining on, oh, ZVZ, so boring, oh my god, not more Roach versus Roach. No, this is super cool games. Oh my god, I could watch these guys do a best... I won't say a best of 69 because I tried watching as much of that as I could of Snoot versus Bunny, and there's limits on how much I can watch before I have to go do other things.
Hours wise,
18 hours.
Jesus.
Yep. They were not cheesing. very much. They were playing a lot of straight-up games.
I see.
All right, well, Droopy, we're here at the end of the night. There is no more room for other games. This is the game.
Yeah.
It is, in a sense, become a best of one with a huge match history between these two players. It's a one shot for both of them. They're both at match point, both at the point of elimination, as well as being able to make it to the round of 8. This means a lot. This is the match for both of these players, potentially for the tournament.
Yeah, and you know, what a great time for the